Hey everybody, welcome back to Don DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar here at 9785 West Charleston Boulevard. We are a couple days away from 2026, so Happy New Year. Just to make sure everybody remembers, next week we will be back to Wednesdays again. We just did Tuesdays because of the holidays. Next week, back to Wednesdays. My name is Tommy Canale. I'll be the host. Sitting next to me is the guy that really doesn't need much of an introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. The leader in sports information and sports gaming industry. The guy's got so many years of experience. They call him the legend. He is everything that and the undisputed champion in sports handicapping. Give a big round of applause to Jim Feist, everybody. Jim, how are we doing today?
Thank you very much, everybody. I'm doing great. I feel great. It's been a good ride. I hate to see the season come to an end. I mean, my God, only 16, 17 weeks? What are you thinking about? 50 weeks of this stuff, right?
The players may not think so. Let's introduce our panel today. We got next to him is the guy that writes a popular weekly sports column inside the Fratto house and from Fox Sports Radio, Bernie Fratto. How are you, Bernie?
Happy New Year, everybody.
And next to him, a guy that just, if you look on any kind of like sports, winning professional sports handicapper, and you're looking for guys that are in first, second, or third of any contest, usually going to see this guy's name and Chip Chimbris. Chip, it seems like everywhere I look, I see your name. Welcome back to the panel.
Thank you, Tommy.
Okay, I can do that. All right, guys, we are in week 18. Jim, let me start with you. Is it harder to handicap week 1 or week 18?
For me, 18.
For you, 18.
Yeah, I compare this to preseason with half the players.
Okay. Bernie, how about you?
Well, I think week 18 is harder because there's significant trends week 1, like home or divisional dogs. But Jim has a point. It's similar to the preseason in that information comes up big as to who's going to play and who's not going to play. And one final thing, historically, if you just bet dogs, since 1990, week 18, which used to be week 17, you're 55% blind. Under is 56. There are a couple of angles here this week I like a lot.
Okay. Chip, what about you? Week 1 or week 18 harder to handicap?
Well, week 18, so many times you see outrageous numbers where a team is 3-13 and they come up a 9.5 point favorite on the road. Things along those lines. You've seen it before. And I think it's much tougher to gauge because of that.
Okay.
I get sucked in sometimes and go, oh, look, they want me to lay this game.
Well, let's get into it. We have some games that have some higher significance than others, and Saturday has 2 of them. One, Panthers at the Bucks. Tampa was favored by 2.5. The total's at 44. It's the fight for the top seed in the NFC. Is it nearly as complex as that situation in the AFC? Because it comes down to what happens in the NFC West. Well, we'll get to that game next. Jim, I know you've been big on Tampa all year. They've lost 7 out of 8. To me, they just look dead. Do they have anything left in the tank to take this?
Well, actually, I think I put the curse on them because I was big on them. They owe that to me. They've been absolutely horrible. The last 7-8 weeks, just horrible. They had a lot of injuries. Baker Mayfield's maybe he's doing too many commercials again because that happened before when he was in Cleveland. It's just been awful. They opened 4. They're down to 2.5 or 3. Carolina's no bargain, though, especially on the road. This is a very bad division, and I think if Tampa Bay wins this game, they'll both be have a losing record. I think 8-9, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's this convoluted thing that if Atlanta wins, they can throw this into a 3-way tie, and that would throw it back to Carolina as the winner, even if they lose this game. Does anybody understand that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Do you like the side? I think this game's more of an underplay. Tampa has not looked good, and they're not scoring.
I would agree that it looks more like an underplay, but it opened 44, and it's still there. There's no real movement. Maybe a little bit of a movement down, but it's kind of just flat. It's not moving.
Where are you at on this, Bernie?
Well, the Bucks have lost 4 in a row for a reason. That offense couldn't score in a women's prison with a fistful of 50. They just lost to the Panthers 12 days ago, whatever it was, by 3. I see nothing has changed. And so I lean dog, but although I don't like teasers because you need 2 outcomes, I think the Panthers would make an excellent teaser partner.
How about you, Chip?
Tampa Bay is so ugly here. I mean, they were 6-2, now they're 7-9. I have to have them.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can have them.
I'm gonna have them.
All right, you're on them.
Chipper's always been a contrarian handicapper, and I've known Chipper for 50 years.
Hey, I hope he's
And,
right.
and believe me, this guy, the way of looking at things, it's one for him. He's always been a winner, so you got to listen to him.
Listen, I hope he's right. I'm a Tampa fan. I hope he's right.
Well, you guys are talking about the total. In the last game they played, was it Carolina had 275 yards and Tampa had 296. Neither of them got 300 yards. Maybe the under is the play.
Okay. Let's get into the other game, the big one. Seahawks at the 49ers. Seattle's a 1.5 favorite. Total's 49.5. Jim, is this a money line play for you?
Well, first of all, why is Seattle a favorite? I mean, San Francisco's. I know their defense is pathetic. They can't stop anybody. We saw Chicago go up and down the field but nobody can stop them. So you have real pedigree here with San Francisco. Purdy's played really well. We don't know if Darnold's going to show up like he did last year at the end of the year and start seeing ghosts on the field. Or, I mean, they are a good team, and everybody ranks them as the better team. That's why they're favored. I don't agree with the line. I think San Francisco should be at least small favorite or pick them. I'm going to pick San Francisco.
That's why I thought that might be the money line play, San Francisco.
Well, I'd try to look for 2. I'd take San Francisco.
Okay.
I took the Niners as well. The Niners beat them early in the season, 17-13. The Seahawks had real trouble moving the ball. Now you put a hothouse team outdoors with all the money on the line. They traveled east last week. They had to go home, come back down to San Francisco. I just think it's in the Niners' DNA and Kyle Shanahan to not lose this game. Can I get a 1.5? That's a side of mine.
Chip, Bernie just brought something up, and if my memory serves me correct, I believe the first time they played was in week 1.
17-13, yeah.
So week 1 games come back to matter a big point now that we're in week 18.
Week 1 is one of the reasons I really doubted Seattle for the entire season. I mean, they had 230 yards in the entire game. I watched that game. They couldn't move the ball. San Francisco was in complete control. Seattle had no shot. And they come up a favorite here. I just don't get it.
So you're taking the Niners as well?
No.
No, he takes Seattle.
Oh, he did take Seattle.
That's the way he does it. It makes no sense. He makes no sense. He goes that way.
That's why his name's always like in the top 3 or 4 of all these contests.
That teaser partner I just mentioned,
Yep.
San Fran plus the points to Carolina plus the points, looks very appealing.
Okay, got it. Let's get into Sunday's game. Jimmy brought up the Falcons that could throw a wrench into this whole thing. They're at home against the Saints. They're a 3-point favorite. The total's 43.5. I think both these teams are coming in on win streaks here between the Saints and the Falcons. Not that I don't know who their opponents are, but I think both of them, one maybe's won 3, one maybe's won 4. You like Atlanta at home?
Not laying points, I don't. They're not the kind of team I lay points with. There's just some teams that you can't bet as a favorite. They had a real knockdown fight with the Rams the other night. They won the game, had to go deep into it, 27-24 after blowing a 21-0 lead. New Orleans is playing great. They're playing as well.
They've been the division killers.
Yeah, I'd have to take the 3. I'm looking here. I see 3.5. I'd have to take 3.5.
All right, Bernie?
Yeah, New Orleans has been pretty terrific if you watch them. They play hard. Kellen Moore's done an excellent job. Turns out Tyler Shuck can play a little bit. And that matters.
Right.
So you got a divisional dog getting points, and I think right now they're the better team. Atlanta had their Super Bowl last night. I like the Saints. By the way, the Saints have won 4 of them.
Yeah.
Let me guess. You're going to take
No,
Atlanta.
I like Bernie's attitude there because
Okay.
that was their Super Bowl last night, beating the Rams, and that was a big game for them. And these two they're not like the Red Sox and Yankees, but they are rivals. And they split the last 6. New Orleans has won 4 in a row. I'll stay with the Saints here.
And by the way, real quickly, you notice they were down 21-3 last night. They were down 28-3 in the Super Bowl and blew that one. So that's why they didn't blow it.
Well, here's another rivalry with the Browns at the Bengals. Cincinnati's favored by 7.5. Totals 44.5. Jim, before you tell me about where you might be on this game, is Cincinnati's defense coming alive, or is that just a fluke last week?
That's a fluke.
I thought it was
I
a
think
fluke as well.
there's no way they're getting better. They don't have the players. They don't have the coach.
Good help.
Do you like Cincinnati at home late in 7.5?
Well, they got a prolific offense, that's for sure. They've had that all year long. Cleveland has a dynamic defense. I don't know if they can do it on the road after beating Pittsburgh, because that's a big game for them. But this is an in-state rivalry. I'd have to take the 7.5. I just think it's too much.
Bernie, is this another game for the teaser?
No.
No.
Stay away game for me. But I know damn well I'm going to look up at halftime and Cincinnati's going to be up 21-3. Okay, Cleveland kind of had their Super Bowl last week, and Myles Garrett. I don't care about the money. I just care if we go to Super Bowl. Sure. They played their ass off, and they really wanted to beat Pittsburgh. Now it's an in-state rival, which used to mean something. Cincinnati does this every year. You get to the holidays and they're eliminated, and they start killing teams. Right? I think Cincinnati's going to put a number on them. I just don't want to let it sit.
So maybe it's play Cincinnati first half.
I try not to fish bet like that because all it takes is one turnover and screws the whole damn thing up. Plus, the book's not going to do you any favors. First half's probably 4.5.
Yeah, you're probably right. How about you, Chip?
Joe Burrow is the difference with the Cincinnati team. It's so obvious.
Big time.
When he's sitting on the bench, I think he's the MVP. That's the difference between the two. But, if Cleveland didn't win that game the way they did against Pittsburgh last week, I would like them. But it's hard to like them, like you said, coming off the big rivalry game. They beat Pittsburgh. Cincinnati's won the last 4 meetings. It's just whether they're going to get over the number or not.
Yeah.
Does anybody really think Shedeur Sanders is a major league quarterback?
He does.
Yeah, that's why it says legendary. Legendary on his Twitter handle.
Have you heard his conversation? Heard his interviews? He definitely thinks he is.
Well,
I've
heard
heard
a few years ago, we didn't think Darnold could play quarterback in the NFL. So we see these things change. Can he be? First of all, he seems to be immature. Can he be trained up?
No.
Well, here's the thing. You didn't think Trevor Lawrence was a quarterback either.
He won a national championship. I mean, come on. These guys had pedigrees.
I get it. And now you got Jacksonville and Houston, which is the game we're going to go to next. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL. Well, you got the Colts at the Texans. Let's go there. Houston's favored by 10.5. The total's 39.5. Like I said, Houston and Jacksonville are 2 of the hottest teams right now. Jim, this Houston team is dangerous.
Well, they're dangerous, but they're dangerous in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know about this game. This doesn't mean anything. I mean, they're going to beat Indianapolis. Indianapolis is coming in with a rookie quarterback. They're going to bench Rivers. It was a good story. He came out, 44 years old, 10 grandkids or whatever it is, 10 kids and 50 grandkids, whatever it is. But, I mean, he gave it a shot. Great leader on the sidelines. He just doesn't have an arm. Houston's great. I mean, their defense is unbelievable. That's
why I think they're dangerous in the postseason.
They are.
I agree with that. I don't know about laying 10 points with them. I would not do that. I'd look at the under in this game. I don't think they're going to go out there. There's no reason to put up a lot of points.
Bernie, is this a pass for you?
No. I grabbed the 11.5 with Indianapolis in the send-off line. The total's 39, and the side's 11.5. That takes me right to the dog. Indy will play with pride. They give scholarships on that side as well. Houston will get in, get out, nobody get hurt, probably win by a touchdown. But I like the points here.
Chipper.
Indy's lost 6 in a row after starting 7-1, right? And Houston's defense has been the key here. They won 8 in a row, but they've only gone over 5 times in 16 games. So it's defense all the way with them. I play it under.
Remember a couple weeks ago when they were Houston was laying 14 against the Raiders?
Yes.
You talk about a hapless football team. They took them to the poll. I think Indianapolis is going to give them a game.
Okay. Well, the other team I brought up was Jacksonville. They're at home against the Titans. They're favored by 12.5. The total's 47.5. Jim, is this another game you just pass on? I mean, because what's Jacksonville playing for?
They have. They're going someplace. I mean, this is a good team.
I know it's a good team.
They're going to keep the momentum going, but I don't see them playing a full game. I think maybe a half a game. Tennessee is a dangerous team. Yes. They're going to get better as time goes on. Ward is going to get better. Give me 12.5 points in a pro game. I'm going to pick the dog.
Chip, go ahead first. You had something before I go to Bernie.
Jacksonville's in a very unique position. They they can actually be a number 1 seed or they can be the number 7 seed, depending on what happens with the rest of the league. But they won 7 in a row, and they covered 7 in a row.
Quietly won 7 in a row.
And I think they're just going to keep on going.
You take it. What are you doing? Anything with this game?
I would like Jacksonville.
Interesting, because I'm probably going to grab the points. I think it's an overlay. If this game was played week 9, it wouldn't be 12 and a half. Final week of the season since 1990, teams that are basically eliminated playing against teams who have to play for something, 61% against the number. I think it's an overlay. I may look foolish. He's right. Jacksonville club is good. But Tennessee's become a cover machine since Thanksgiving. They're like 5-1 on their last 6. And if you watch them, they pass the eye test. They play hard. And Cam Ward's improving.
Well, it is a numbers game after all. You could just erase the teams and just look at the numbers and the stats. You would never play the favorite. You would. You're looking at numbers. I mean, there never would be a 12.5 point favorite in this game if they were playing middle of the season.
All right, Jim. Here we go. A team that you have had a lot of interest in this year, the Packers, at the Vikings. Minnesota's favored by 6.5. The total's 36.5. By the way, is your bet with Scott Pritchard, is that done or is it still in the making?
We threw dirt on that.
He threw dirt.
I think that was dead from the day it started. Thank you, Detroit. And I'm not going to say anything negative about it because the guy next to me is from Detroit and he might hit me, and I don't want to be hit by him.
But do you like Minnesota at home laying points against the Packers, who are really beat up?
Bernie? What do the Packers have to play for?
Pride, I guess.
What's Minnesota got to play for?
Well, actually,
Definitely
you know, here's the thing. Actually, Minnesota's going to win the game, but I don't want to lay 6.5.
Okay, I get it.
Look, the Lions.
You like the total of 36.5?
I don't like anything about the game. I just watched the Lions, a team I covered for 10 years, lose to a team with a quarterback threw for 3 yards. Rosmer threw for 3 yards. 6 turnovers kind of helped the matter. So this is one to, have your favorite beverage and watch, and it really doesn't matter.
How about you, Chip?
Well, Green Bay's dropped 3 in a row, and they're secure in their playoff position. And I don't know if Love's going to play. And I haven't been. They've only covered 5 out of 16 games as it is. Minnesota's won 4 in a row. The average 6. I think that's a big number. Number. I would lay it.
We don't know who's quarterback in either one of those games. We're not really sure who's going to quarterback.
We're pretty sure it's Rosmer.
Yeah, but what about the other
I
side?
think Malik Willis.
Oh, that's terrible.
He threw for 3 yards against Detroit and won.
Well, yeah.
3?
I mean, look at that quarterback
And
matchup.
that was a good day.
Willis and Rosmer.
That's how efficient he is. He only needs to throw for 3 yards.
I mean, it sounds like an
I had
attorney.
him on my fantasy team. No, that's not true.
All right, let's move on to the Cowboys at the Giants, an interdivision game. Dallas is favored by 4.5. The total's 51.5. We got to give props. I mean, our Dallas
Wait a
guy
minute.
comes in.
We got the guy over there.
Yeah,
Oh, go Giants! Better draft pick.
He brought in some kind of helmet. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before in my
Yeah,
life.
that is a unique
That's
thing.
maybe a one of a kind. Yeah, you can't tell that he's really he's a Dallas fan at all. But Jim, do you like Dallas here laying 4.5 on the road at New York?
Dak, I see no reason why Dak and company are going to lay down. But the Giants, obviously, they don't care about the draft pick because last week they came out here and knocked the hell out of the Raiders, who obviously do care about the draft pick. The Giants are going to come to play, and it is a home division dog. I'm going to take the Giants.
Bernie.
I don't like to go against Jim. I love the guy, but I actually like Dallas here because you wake up and score 24 points, they fall out of bed. And I don't, the Giants are probably plumb tuckered out for being the mighty Raiders. It feels like a 27-17 game to me, seriously. So I laid the 4, not the 4.5, but I laid the 4.
Jim, what's the total on this game?
51.5.
I played it over. I mean, Dallas are going over 11-4-1. The Giants are going over 10-6. The last time they played was 40-37. 478 yards for the Cowboys. 500 yards for that Giant offense. I'll play it over.
I agree with Chipper. It does look like an
You like the over too?
Yeah.
All right, Jets at the Bills. Buffalo's favored by 7. Total's 38.5. Before we get into it, Jim, do you like the call going for 2 or not?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one.
At home, all you do is kick the extra point and you go into overtime at home.
Do you really want to go into overtime? I mean, with
With Josh Allen?
If you're getting
Well,
1.5, going for 2 is great.
The first half was all Eagles. The second half was. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Say it again, Chip.
So if you're getting 1.5, going for 2 is great because if he makes it, you win. If he doesn't make it, you win.
Yeah.
Okay, he answered the question. I would go for 2. I think with that team, you go for it. I mean, they were manhandled in the first half. The other team has a better offense, better defense, not the better quarterback, but you don't want. Why go into overtime? I wouldn't do it.
Bernie, let me ask you this on that same question.
Yes.
Because here's the next question from that. They chose to go for 2. Did Allen miss the pass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Yes.
the play they dialed up was terrific.
Yes.
Allen happened to miss it. Why? He's got a bad right foot. He's got a bad right foot, and he couldn't push it off. You could see it the whole game. That's why he missed that pass. Having said that, the Jets are like cake and ice cream. Buffalo, this is going to be a tune-up game. Sean McDermott's not going to want to go into the playoffs losing 2 in a row. They're going to get after it this week. I don't want to hear anything about a good loss. There's no such thing as a good loss. That's like a good kidney stone. So they're gonna take it out on the Jets this week. I really believe it. I think it's a minimum 10-point win for Buffalo.
Chip?
Last time the Jets beat Buffalo, I think Wilson was quarterbacking.
And he was. He was.
And I don't know how badly Buffalo needs it. I'm wondering in the second half if they're just going to, pull in the reins. I mean, Bernie seems to think they're going to want to route, but
Well, no, not necessarily that, Chip. But they may pull in the reins and still be up by 14.
easily.
Yeah, but if he has a bad foot, why would you put him out there to play and not give him rest? If he actually
Because
has
it's
a bad
difficult
foot
for it all.
that made him miss a pass,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't you rest him?
Well,
I
these guys are born to play football.
If they rest him, it's only going to be in the second half they get up big, I think.
Okay.
That's my call.
He's going to start and play at least a half. Probably more.
Well, the Jets can't figure out how to play it, even if the other team doesn't put any players on the
In the
team.
here's the answer to your question. It's a tune-up game. They're not happy that they got shut out by the Eagles for 3 quarters. They need to get some things straight before they go into the playoffs. So I think it's a tune-up game for the Bills.
Jim, are you on either side on this?
Under.
You like the under?
Yeah, the Jets just don't score. They don't score points. They're horrible.
All right, let's get into the Lions at the Bears. It looks like the Bears linebacker Noah Seawall has torn his Achilles
Oh boy.
in the loss to the 49ers. Chicago's favored by 2.5. Totals at 58.5. Last week or a couple weeks ago when Matt Humans was here, he said, no matter how the Bears have won, they've won, and they're starting to believe they're a good team, and they're starting to play like they're a good team. I'm starting to believe that Matt Humans is right. Chicago may not be a very good football team, but they're playing with so much confidence right now. They believe they're the best team in the NFL the way they're playing. This total at 2.5. Lions season has been very disappointing. Where are you at with this game?
Well, there's only one person on the panel should talk about this game.
Let's go. Bernie, what do you got to say?
I'm a little baffled by the line because Ben Johnson wants to pay the Lions back for them putting up. The Lions put 52 on the Bears when they previously played, right? You get the Lions going outdoors. They got cluster injuries in the defensive backfield, and Matt Humans is right, and our buddy Scott Pritchard was right, and I was wrong. 4 or 5 weeks ago, I said I'm gonna keep waiting for this high wire act to end. It doesn't end. That offense is scary. I mean, they were a whisker from beating the Niners in a much tougher environment. Ben Johnson's crazy. I think he would like to put it up. So I can only lay the points here, but I'm a little nervous about why the line's 2.5.
Chip, you got anything?
Look, Detroit could only salvage their season psychologically, I think, if they win this game, and that line is telling me that they're going to give Chicago all they can handle.
Yeah.
Chicago needs it. Detroit put up 511 yards against this team the first time they played. Is it that different this time around? Detroit's offense hasn't been the same.
That's true. And the Bears' offense is nothing to shake right now.
So,
Or defense, I'm sorry.
Detroit has been a big disappointment this year.
Right.
Can anybody answer the question, what is actually wrong with them? Yes, they lost the offensive and defensive coordinator, but that was a long time ago. They had time to work that out. A lot of people don't like their head coach. They lost their center. They've had defensive injuries.
You just said it, pal. The
Defensive
Lions ranked third offensively, 390 yards per game. Dan Campbell has come under fire for his playmaking, but it's defensive injuries, and defensive injuries.
Bernie, let me ask you this then.
Sorry.
No problem.
Ben Johnson a bigger loss to Detroit than they thought.
Well, you can say that, but he didn't help them the last 5 weeks down the stretch last year when the defense was also banged up. So I think he's been a huge asset to the Bears, clearly. But without the Lions' injuries, I would have liked to have seen what they have done because they were averaging 44 points at home. And that Thanksgiving Day just showed me that something's missing in their DNA.
Well, I thought the Lions were going to go to the Super Bowl last year until they started to get all those cluster injuries on defense. And they were a great team last year. This year, they again have defensive injuries. And this is probably the end of them because these guys get older, they move on, et cetera, and they still have issues. They're going to have to replace the offensive and defensive coordinator because this year it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. Big offseason for the Lions. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Let's get in the Chargers at the Broncos. Denver's favored by 12.5. The total's 37.5. This game, I think, opened up at 3 or 3.5 and moved up. Is that right?
Well, yes, but the Chargers are playing no.
Right. They're sitting.
They're sitting everybody. So, no, there's no game here. You look at Denver. Denver will play the first half, run up the score, sit everybody, and the game will go under.
Yeah, I love the under 37.5. When I watch Trey Lance play quarterback, it's sucking my will to live. He's not a major league quarterback. The last time he got a start under Kyle Shanahan, they ran like the 1914 wing T. They don't have to do anything. Okay, so the Chargers are not going to be able to score points. Denver will get up by a couple, and then it'll end up, 20-7.
I think after this football season, I'm going to go back and watch all these episodes and find all the one-liners from the panel and put them together because it's been classic this year. Chip, what's your thoughts on this game?
Chargers are playing no one. I'm going to have to play. I play Denver. They need this game, and I think they haven't been in a position where they've been out of the playoffs for a while now. It looks like I think they need the game just for themselves.
You'll lay the 12.5.
They're the number 1 seed.
You'll lay the 12.5.
I don't know how the Chargers are going to score.
Exactly.
All right, there we go. Now we got the Chiefs at the Raiders, and as Jim has said, it's not really a pro football team. Kansas City's favored by 5.5. The total's 36.5. They're saying it's probably one and done for Pete Carroll, even though it's not his fault. But Jim, let me ask you this before we get into the line or the sides on this game. Can you see a situation with everything that's happened with Kansas City where Andy Reid says in the offseason, I'm done?
Well, he's older. He's done a lot. I mean, there has to be a point
After they win?
In their personal life, what's going on in his personal life? Does he want to retire and go off and enjoy himself? I mean, some people, logically speaking, at some point that's going to happen. But what are we going to do after the Raiders move to Perot? Because we still need to get a team.
We did last year. Last week we got your team. We got the Jim Feist pro football team coming to Las Vegas.
Well, that's going to be sad too.
So are you going to take Kansas City lay 5.5?
No, I'm not going to play the game.
All right. Bernie, can you see Andy Reid walking away?
The only way
he's not going to walk away.
The way you play the game is you play the under. I mean, that's all you can do.
He's not going to walk away. They're going to retool a little bit. I think their dynasty's over for sure. But it's more of a fate on the Raiders. I mean, they were already brutal with Max Crosby and with Brock Bowers. I mean, it's not funny. And I don't know what's going to happen with Pete Carroll, but he did handpick Chip Kelly. He did handpick Geno Smith. He did handpick Ashton Jeanty. Not so much, right? So the Raiders are playing hard, but they don't have really anything. And the line to me is telling me that the Chiefs are going to win this thing by more than a touchdown. 5.5.
Chip.
Well, I was at the Raider game on Sunday. The Giants.
I'm sorry.
Did you stay?
I had to leave early.
I was going to say, how long did you last? What was the over-under? Did you make it 3.5 quarters? That's the over-under for the fans.
The best thing I can say about the Raiders is that pitchers and catchers report in 45 days. That team's terrible. And Kansas City 5.5. They're telling you they're not going to give any effort. They're 4-12 against the number on the year, and the Raiders aren't all that much better. I think they've covered 5 times. Ugly game, just something I really don't want to be part of. And I don't want to get suckered into playing this Las Vegas side, thinking Kansas City's not going to do anything because they really are terrible.
I can't disagree. I can't disagree. I think it's a pass game as well.
The New York Giants were a 1.5 point favorite at Los Angeles. The Raiders are not getting 5.5 on the road. That just doesn't correlate to me.
Right.
Throw out everything about the Chiefs that you've seen this year because it hasn't been pretty. But I think they got one punch left in them in their DNA with Travis Kelce and the boys. And I think the Raiders, you talk about a team that's offensively challenged. Boy, oh boy.
Jim, Cardinals at the Rams. Rams are favored by 7.5. Totals 46.5.
Normally, McVay would sit the players because now he comes out and he says he's going to play the players. Originally, this opened 14.5 down to 7.5. Arizona is, they started off okay. They replaced Murray with Brissett. That was okay. They could put up points. They were an over team. Now, last week they went under barely, but they did go under. And the Rams played a tough game against Atlanta. The Rams would like to get the 5 seed. The reason they want the 5 seed is because if you're the 5 seed, you go to the 4 seed's home field, which will probably be Tampa Bay or Carolina, which is a much easier place to go than, say, the Eagles or something like that, or the Bears.
Yeah.
And if they don't get the 5 seed, they get the 6 seed, and they're going to have to go to Chicago or Philadelphia, which is way different. So the Rams would like to get 5, which is why they tried to win the game last night, but they forgot to play the first half. Arizona here, nothing to play for but pride and their jobs. I mean, the coach is in trouble. They're talking about getting rid of him. Murray's probably not going to ever play here again. They're going to try to play. Now, the thing is, the Rams typically would say, they would say, we're going to sit our players. But they do have the possibility of getting that 5 seed, and that's very important. I would not want to go on the road to Chicago or Philadelphia.
Are you going to take a side on this?
No.
Burn.
I'm not going to take a side. It's 7.5.
That was a great explanation to say I'm not taking a side. I love it.
Well, here's the deal.
I'm putting that in the
It
best
just
hits,
shows you that I can talk a lot and really say nothing.
Whenever you can make a case for both sides, just stay away. Now, there's a couple of moving parts here. Again, back to the trend going back to 1990. Teams that are eliminated playing teams that have someone to play for. The dog covers 61% of the time. You get a nice number here, 7.5. And I like Jacoby Brissett. I think Arizona can score points. Big conditions in Los Angeles. But that number's tricky. I do believe the Rams will win. So I don't think Arizona's going to win, so I become a fish better, hoping it is under 7. I don't want to do that. But I got to tell you, I don't have a lot of faith in the Rams. Remember, I'm from Detroit. I've seen this Stafford act. I've been waiting for him to turn into Detroit Matt for a while. He did it against Carolina a few weeks ago. Did it last night. 32 career pick sixes. Did anybody notice, even after everything, he missed a wide open guy on a pylon route that would have won the game with 30 seconds to go? He's not a closer like everybody thinks he is, okay? How about the game against Seattle they'd lost? Real close a couple weeks ago. Their last 5 drives, no points. 3 of the 5 were 3 and outs. I don't think this Ram team deals with pressure that well. They're going to feel pressure Sunday. So Arizona's going to give them a battle, because I just don't like that number. It's a little tricky at 7.5.
That tells me Chip's going to take the number.
No, not really. No, Arizona's lost 8 in a row.
Right.
They've only covered once in those 8 games. Anytime I've been on them, they've been terrible. And I really, there's certain teams you just can't win with, or they just don't come to play when happens to me anyway, when I happen to have them. And Arizona's one of those teams. The Rams need this game pretty badly, I think. They've lost the last 2 in a row. I think you just want to get them settled. They've won 7 of the last 9 decisions against Arizona and covered. So I would lean toward the Rams. I just don't think Arizona can play. And by the way, that pick 6 you were talking about, he's going to retire, Matthew Stafford, with the most career pick 6s.
Right, 32 in his career.
Of any NFL player.
And counting.
Yep.
And the guy who caught it, Jesse Bates, a very good safety, picked him off in the Super Bowl too. And I still look back, if Jaquaski Tartt could catch a little floater, never even go to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you, what's the possibility of the Rams playing the first half with their starters and then backing off in the second half and having a backdoor cover?
Good possibility.
I think they're still better.
But
Jim,
you're right.
Jim, it's been a long time since there's been this much intrigue involved in the race for the #1 spot in the AFC playoffs. You got the Dolphins at the Patriots. New England's favored by 11. The total's 45.5. What is your thoughts on this whole AFC side? Do you like the Patriots here, and who do you think is going to be the 1 seed?
Okay, so let's look at who the possibilities are for the 1 seed. It's not going to be Pittsburgh or Baltimore. It could easily be Jacksonville. Could easily be Jacksonville. Yeah. But New England's not going to lose to Miami.
Miami's playing better lately.
Yeah, but the bad part about Miami is they don't like cold weather. It's not usually tropical in New England this time of year. So,
You think Denver's got a shot?
well, of course they got a shot. They're a big favorite. Yeah, of course they have a shot. That comes down to the tiebreakers, I guess. I really
Probably where it's going to go is the tiebreakers. Are you going to take 11, or are you going to lay 11 or stay away?
I would take the dog.
Bernie?
I'd take the Miami.
Well, be like Mike Vrabel, not Mike McDaniel. They're
Not
gonna
Michael
win.
Jordan?
Remember that commercial. Roll it up. Look, Vrabel's got this team humming, and I think Drake May's the MVP of the league. I really believe that. Now, New England will win. Will they cover the 10.5? I don't know. It's a complete stay away game for me. I'd be more likely to observe them covering the 10.5. I just don't want to lay double digits in the NFL, pretty much ever.
Chip, who do you think is going to be the 1 seed in the AFC after this week?
New England.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I know New England.
He's not going to take his foot off the pedal at all. I mean, they don't take a play off. This team has come from virtually nowhere, and they really like winning. I mean, it's tough to go out there and get beat week after week, and these guys come to play every week. They won last 4. I wouldn't play the game. I don't play double digits for the most part.
Sure.
Vrabel's got him in playoff mode now. He is, like he said, he's not going to take their foot off the gas. He wants them to enter the playoffs on a high note.
A lot of people like to play teasers. And we had a guy on the show a couple of weeks ago, Lou Finicaro, that likes to play 10-point teasers. So we have some big favorites, and I'm asking you here, Denver, Jacksonville, New England. What do you think? 10-point teasers.
Well, I know Lou, and knowing Lou, he probably is very successful at that.
He is.
I don't like teasers as a general rule because you need 2 outcomes, and with that, you need 3 outcomes. But boy, you look at that and say, how could one of them lose? And then, well, it's the National Football League. So I just think there's better ways for me to invest my money. But I respect Lou a lot, and that's his jam. He makes it work. It's not for me.
How many people had Detroit on the teaser last year,
Boom.
laying 9.5 against Washington in the first game?
What about the Rams last night, maybe?
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah. Jim, let's talk about the Commanders at the Eagles. Philadelphia is favored by 7. The total's 41. Division rivalry. What's Philadelphia going to do? Show up?
I don't believe there's any reason for Philadelphia to be excited about playing this game. It went from 12 down to 7. The Commanders are going to play. But let me say something about Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is a very dangerous football team that nobody's talking about. They have the weapons. They have the offensive, defensive line. They got the pedigree. They are the defending champs. But nobody talks about them. And if they can play, if they decide to play like they did in the first half against Buffalo, they completely control the game. I don't understand what happens to them, why they go dead at certain times in games. They forget that they have a wide receiver, AJ on the outside. Hurts forgets that he can throw the ball. Hurts forgets that he can run the ball. I don't understand their play calling. Their whole mentality is a mystery to me. I think Washington probably covers this game, and it's probably low scoring. But Philadelphia is very dangerous.
Bernie, you agree with Philadelphia's dangerous?
Very much. They've been playing with their food all year. I think you're going to start to see them take the wraps off of Jalen Hurts. They'll have design running plays for him. Their defense is extremely formidable. They just proved it in Buffalo last week. I do believe the starters will play for at least a half, and I do also believe that they're going to rest their starters as the game goes on. So it's a stay-away game for me.
Chip.
Well, I definitely think Philadelphia's going to win the game. They've won 8 of the last 10 times against this team. Washington's lost 9 of 10. Whether they get there or not, that's a whole nother story. What Bernie said about teams that are going and teams that are not going, we've been playing that for quite a while. And so a lot of these games here, we should be on an underdog, and here I am saying I like the favorites in all these games. I just don't know. The differential between some of these teams that are so bad this year, I mean, you just can't compete. The Raiders had to have 6 or 8 games where they weren't even competitive in the game.
Just think about this, and I know you guys all know this. In the NFL, you pick winners, you're going to win. The line doesn't come into play that often. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week, tops. Some weeks, once. So, to your point, if you think Philadelphia's going to win, it'd be far more advantageous to lay the points than hope Washington can put one together in a meaningless game.
Well, I was waiting for Philadelphia to wake up all year. I'm saying, now they've won 3 in a row. Maybe they weren't all that impressive, but they've won 3 in a row.
They might be clicking at the right time.
I think it's by design.
I'm still trying to figure out if Jalen Hurts is any good. I mean, all he does is win, but
sometimes that's all you have to do is win.
What is it, like 26-5 in his last 30?
It's a total mystery how they play. I mean, they just do things.
And that might just be their DNA.
It could be, but
just enough to keep you
half
from
a
not
game,
taking
they
them
look like
seriously.
world beaters, and then they stop doing it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
understand.
think they picked their spots. They're Super Bowl champs. I think they want to repeat. We just haven't talked about it. They've been playing with their food all year in a not great division, right? By the way, they're the only repeat winner, in 22 years?
Something like that, yeah.
There's somebody to be said for that.
I think Dallas is in that division. Isn't that right?
Go Giants.
Jim, Sunday night, Pittsburgh could have claimed the division title with a victory over the Browns, but that didn't happen. Baltimore has been hoping for one last shot at turning around their season that began for 1-5. But this is a team that has dropped 3 of its last 5 games. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Ravens are favored by 3.5. The total's 41.5. All eyes are going to be on this game on Sunday night. Give me your thoughts.
It's a hell of a game. And how do you make Baltimore a 3.5-point favorite in this game? I mean,
Vinny's not here. I can't ask him.
the history between these two teams is amazing. 3-point victories are normal, and slugfests, slobber knockers. Under obviously is an under bet. Now you want to bet a side.
You think it's a pick'em game?
It should be a pick'em game.
Okay.
Should not be a 3.5-point favorite in this game. That's my opinion. Now, Pittsburgh without their best wide receiver, who happened to punch a fan, which was ridiculous, and he got suspended. That really limits them. But Lamar Jackson, I don't know if he's going to go with the backup. They played well last week. The running back, I don't know how the coach sits him. One game he forgot to put him in the game. And he says, "Oh, I forgot about him." Come on. They might be moving on from Harbaugh. There's a lot of problems here with these two teams and their coaching staffs. So there should be a lot of changes in the offseason. But right here, I'd have to be on the dog and the under.
Bernie.
I'm on the dog. Several reasons. First of all, we don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to play. But even if he does, what version of Lamar Jackson are you going to get? This is a de facto playoff game. Lamar Jackson's career is 3-5 in the playoffs. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 55% completion, 68 passer rating. Not good.
He's not good when it comes when you need him.
I don't trust him at all. Then if you just look at the history of this series, no matter who's on the field, the underdog blindly, 25-7. Harbaugh and Tomlin have gone back and forth many years. 25-7, that's 78%. You give Tomlin points at home, he's 74%. You give him more than 3 points, he's 26-3, 87%. I think Pittsburgh, I love that they looked so bad last week, and Baltimore kind of looked good with Tyler Huntley and just giving it to Derrick Henry. Watch the reverse happen. I really like Pittsburgh in this game.
Well, the good news for Pittsburgh is they didn't allow a touchdown last week, and the bad news is they didn't score one either. They've beaten this team 7 of the last 10 times they played them, but if you go back to week 7, we'll get the show, and the Colts, the Ravens were 1-5 at the time, and they were still favored to win the division, and this is why, because that division's terrible, and they have a chance at 8-8 to win the division when they were out of it and had no chance. I don't know where to go with this right now. I'd like to know where the money's going.
I think Bernie said in the beginning, in week 18, you bet the dog and the under. And I think that's
Yeah.
what you need to do.
I actually,
It's been an under a year and a dog year. I mean, just-
Bernie, do you think Pittsburgh wins this game straight up?
yes. Could I be made of, sure, could I be wrong? I'm wrong 3 times a day before breakfast, but on this one, I like my chances.
All right, we got some time for some questions. Who has Scott Pritchard? Go ahead.
I can't remember a time when we've had more parity going into the postseason than we have now. Especially, I feel strongly the Broncos, not the Pats, not the Jags. Broncos this season won. Don't know if that means anything. NFC. One quick comment, and I want to get your feedback. I feel strongly that the NFC will be the Bears. Number 3, Philly. Number 4, Tampa Bay. Number 7, Green Bay. The winner of Seattle and the Niners will be number 1. But the crazy part is for you Rams fans, Vegas is the second favorite to just come out of the NFC. I think they're either 1 or 2 personally. But if Seattle loses, they drop to a 5 seed, which means they get a 5 because they get to play Tampa Bay. But if the Niners win, they're number 1. But if they lose, they drop to 6, meaning the Rams get a 5 as a 5 seed against Tampa Bay. And in the second round, they play Seattle. Do you really think the Green Bay Packers at 7 are concerned about going back to Chicago?
No.
Agree or disagree that the Rams are still number 1 or number 2 to win the NFC?
Well, first of all, you used the word parody. Are you spelling it P-A-R-O-D-Y or P-A-R-I-T-Y? Because you got the Raiders. Look, I'm not sold on the Rams. You're dead right on the Bears all along. Props, or check that. On the Packers all along. Props to you. You know what the Rams are. Trust your eyes. They tell you a lot. They're getting money because they're a media darling play. Because everybody's made it a media darling play. So all the lemmings are lining up. I have no faith in the Rams. They go on the road at Philadelphia or Chicago week 1. They'll be packing their bags. That's what I see. My opinion.
Let me ask this before we get into another question. Bernie or Chip, take this. If the Niners get the number 1 seed, they technically could be playing at home the rest of the season, including the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It means everybody's coming on the road to them. How much of an advantage is that?
I think it's huge. Tampa proved it a couple of years ago when they had Brady. And, I mean, especially the way this team plays. I mean, they're like running in mud all the time, aren't they? I mean,
they're getting healthier and they're looking better. I mean,
Well, how are they getting healthier on defense? What's
well,
happening on
that
defense?
is their Achilles heel.
They can't put any pressure on the quarterback. And if you're playing the top teams in the league, I don't care who it is that comes in there, they're going to score points because they have an offense that's going to do that. As long as they get Kittle back and Trent Williams, which is a great offensive lineman. You're not going to go very far without that offensive line put together. But so they're going to score a lot of points and they're going to give up a lot of points, just like we saw in that Chicago game the other night, because they can't get to the quarterback. Now, they dialed it up at the end of the game and they rushed everybody. They did put pressure on Caleb, but they can't do that all game because it leaves too many open shots down the field. I don't see them going far without any edge rushers and being able to get the front 4 to get pressure on them. So I don't care if they play at home or not. They're just not going anywhere unless they can find a way to get pressure.
I want to piggyback on something Chip said that ties into the 49ers and motivation. So the Rams in Stafford, the Super Bowl they did win was played at SoFi Stadium and with Brady. The Niners know that. They know that. That's just a little additional motivation. They win this game, they'll have the rest of the season at home and have to get on a plane, including the Super Bowl. I think that matters.
shouldn't that be reflected in the line?
Well, we don't know what. Well, yes. I think it starts with power ratings, and I also think that a lot of money. I haven't checked, but I'm guessing more money is coming on Seattle than the Niners, which has allowed the line to be where it is. That's just my opinion.
Any other questions out there?
Yes, right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Let's talk about the most important thing. What edge rusher should the Cowboys target in the draft next year?
Hey, Ray, you chance to ask
You got a question, Ray? Before we close up, you got a question?
Well, I mean, Stephon Diggs is out. That's for under your kid and choking women and all that. I don't know. So,
You know what
do
happened?
you think that's detrimental, like as bad as DK is? Because it's going to be a stress test with that. I think it's going to.
That event happened on December 2nd. Why did they hit the media now?
Well, because they didn't want it to hit the media. They kept it internal.
Media lost the
He
news
was
report
arrested.
on it.
Henry Ruggs just got his bachelor's degree from Alabama and a 4.0 2 days ago. Ask Alabama, it's true. It was in the Daily Mail. It's the media.
I don't think Ruggs is playing this week. I gotta check the injury.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Ruggs
sure
is
Ruggs is
Drugs?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's in jail.
All right. Any other last questions before we close up shop? All right. Next week, we'll be back on Wednesday, January 7th with Lou Vinicario and Brady Cannon. We want to thank Albert Scalliott and Don DeMarcos for hosting the show. Jay Lore for giving away wine after the outro. Guys, stay tuned. We will give away some wine. Round of applause for Chip Chimbris, Bernie Fratto, and the one and only Jim Feist, everybody. My name is Tommy Canale. We'll see you guys next week. Happy New Year and good luck on your bets, everyone.